Hey, how's it going? So maybe today's the day you collect the keys from the agent and you just purchased your first investment rental property. What do you do next? Let's talk property management today. This comes up quite often. You have a couple of choices. Number one is, do you do it yourself? Or number two, do you hire a professional? Maybe a professional property manager or a property management company. Either way, it will be someone else who does the work for you, or do you get your hands dirty and do some of this yourself? So these are just some of the factors that you need to consider in this video as to whether you should do yourself or hire out. So one of the things to consider is, what are your goals? Why did you buy the rental property in the first place? Were you thinking just one or two to supplement your income? Or were you thinking much bigger, in the tens or hundreds of units eventually, that will replace your income fully and then give you a lot more? These will kind of determine whether you need a property management company or manager, or maybe managers. Who knows? The next couple of things to consider are, what are you prepared to do? And equally, what are you not prepared to do? And these go hand in hand, because me personally, I'm not prepared to deal with plumbing issues, for example. I am not personally very handy. Maybe you are, which leads me to the next point. What skills do you have? If you have skills like you're very handy around the house, then maybe you could fix things that you don't need to call a contractor or builder out to do. These are skills that you should absolutely put to use if you are managing things yourself. For me, it comes down to predominantly three factors. Now, the first one is whether you have some skills to self manage the property. Are you clued up with all the legal requirements? And are you handy, perhaps? Are you able to fix some plumbing or fix doors or whatever it is? Um, so that's number one. Number two is how much time you have. Okay. Now, if you work a job that requires you to work, I don't know, so let's say 60 to 70 hours a week or whatever it is, so you are pretty much full time on the job, then you probably don't have much time to attend to tenant issues, or even fix things. Even if you are handy, you may not have the time to go fix things. Now, lastly, it's how much money you have. Do you have enough funds to outsource some of this stuff? So if you don't have time, you might be able to pay someone else to manage the property for you. You may not have the skills, in which case you may need to fork out some money to get someone else to do the handiwork for you. Now that you've identified what skills you have in relation to property management, how much time you may have if you have other things going on, and how much money you have, especially once you've purchased a rental property, um, you'll need to determine whether you are able to self-manage your properties, or if it's just one property, I'm sure you'll be able to manage with a bit of help. But I want to challenge you to think slightly bigger. How will you manage many units, not just the one or two? So, to summarize, before you decide whether you want to do it yourself and manage properties on your own, or if you want to outsource this to property managers or property management companies, you need to firstly get clear on your goals, understand your limitations, and understand yourself. And by that, I mean, do you have the right skills? Do you have the time and the budget for it? And finally, consider if you do want to scale up. And if and when you're able to, you probably need to look at outsourcing some of the rental property management at some point, because you may be able to get away with it for one, two, even a few properties, quite a few properties even. But when we're talking hundreds of units, you will need help. You definitely can't do all of that on your own. There's only a limited amount of time in a day. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure that bell icon is turned on so you get notified every time a video comes out. And finally, thank you for watching. Have a great day, everyone.